On to the next story from CNBC. Harris will beat Trump, says election prediction legend Allan Lichtman. And this is interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Nate Silver currently has it for Trump. That could change. Lichtman currently has it for Kamala Harris. This doesn't make sense. Now, Lichtman predicted accurately that Donald Trump would beat Hillary Clinton, and they made fun of him. They were like, you're crazy. He went through his prediction model and said Hillary Clinton is going to lose, and the media laughed and said she can't lose. Are you nuts? Now Lichtman is predicting that Kamala Harris will win. The only time he was wrong is when he predicted, I think it was Al Gore was going to win. I think he predicted Al Gore.
Yeah, that's right.
But then it wasn't a normal election considering how it turned out. So some say since the 80s when he began this model, he's never been wrong. 2000 was an anomaly, so we don't count that. Maybe you should. I kind of feel like he's full of it. Let me show you. So they say the results are in. The Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris will defeat Republican rival Trump in the November 5th election, according to the historian named the Nostradamus of presidential elections. In his latest election prophecy, he, an American professor, blah, 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 is predicting Harris is going to win. The Democrats will hold on to the White House, and Kamala Harris will be the next president of the United States, Lichtman said in the video. At least that is my prediction for this race. His forecasts are based on a historical index model he dubs the keys to the White House. The way it works is there are 13 true-false statements. If 6 or more of the statements are false, then the challenger, in this case, Trump, is predicted to win. Here are the keys and his determinations. I got to say, before I read his... Actually, let's do this. I'll read the keys to the White House. It is 1, party mandate. 2, no primary contest. 3, incumbent seeking re-election. 4, no third party. 5, strong short-term economy. 6, strong long-term economy. 7, major policy change. 8, no social unrest. 9, no scandal. 10, no foreign or military failure. 11, major foreign or military success. 12, charismatic incumbent. And 13 is uncharismatic challenger. Now, his determination is that only 3 of these statements are false. Therefore, Trump cannot win. But let's go through his assessment. Party mandate. After the midterm elections, the incumbent party holds more seats in the U.S. House than it did after the previous midterm. False. That's good for Republicans. Contest. There is no serious contest for the incumbent party nomination. True. Whoa.
Yeah, I think you're onto something with this one.
Dean Phillips, RFK Jr., and you had a bunch of other Marianne Williamson.
I mean, there were primaries that said not Joe Biden, right? Like there was
also
contest over
in Minnesota and
that's what
Michigan.
I'm referencing.
Yeah,
well, even the whole thing
State.
with the uncommitted voters.
Yeah.
So this was very seriously contested. RFK Jr. was running for the Democratic ticket. They blocked him from it, so he turned independent. He was running,
filed lawsuits against him in every state.
Which a funny point he brought up is they kept suing him to keep his name off the ballot. Now they're suing him to keep his name on the ballot.
Right.
How about that? So he said, there is no serious contest for the incumbent party nomination. True. I feel that's false. There was a serious contest for it. It was a matter of huge contention how they handled the primary to keep people out. So maybe his argument is it doesn't matter. All that matters is the primary didn't happen. Perhaps his argument is his model is not based on whether or not people were challenging him. It's based on whether or not there was an actual election where the incumbent almost lost.
So basically, he's saying that because the incumbent party was so powerful and used lawfare so effectively, there was no primary
I guess,
challenge.
Which doesn't make sense. If the argument is when there is a serious primary contest for the incumbent party nomination, it shows disdain for the current candidate, and many of those people won't vote. We absolutely have that in RFK Jr. So let's continue. Not to mention the incumbent party victor of the primary is not the candidate. Let's just make that clear. The guy who won the primary is not the candidate. So this is weird. Incumbency. The incumbent party candidate is the sitting president. False. Seems strange because it's right.
It is false, but this whole model
Kamala.
seems to not acknowledge the fact that she is actively part of the incumbent administration.
Right.
I mean, when it works as if when they don't want her to be, when it would benefit the model, she isn't, and when it would hurt her or help her, it kind of goes back and forth whether she's a part of this or not.
But we'll read it verbatim. She is not the sitting president. I don't know how many times that has happened, and I don't think it's ever.
No, I don't.
The sitting president. Well, no. That's wrong. During elections where the president is termed out and the vice president is running, like say Al Gore or whatever, then this clearly becomes the issue. So let's just say, fine, we'll give him the false. It benefits Trump anyway. There is no significant third party or independent campaign. I'll actually agree that's true. Short-term economy. The economy is not in a recession during the election campaign. True. Full stop. Are we in a recession?
Yeah, if it feels like it, I don't know, it's not officially a recession, but
Exactly. So this is the question. If you go around and ask people, as even Don Lemon did, who are you voting for? They say Trump. He says, why? He was in Atlantic City, and they were like, the economy. And Don Lemon's like, no, the economy's good. Well, people don't feel it. So the question is not, I don't think you can say, are we in a recession? I think the question is, do people feel bad economically? Because it's the economy, stupid.
Yeah, the other thing too is I was reading a report this morning. Groceries hit like an all-time high in July.
What did?
Groceries.
Prices for it.
Prices for groceries.
And people can feel it. Number 6 is long-term economy. Real per capita economic growth during the term equals or exceeds mean growth during the previous 2 terms. True. That one's fine. That's an economic academic statement. I have no problem with that. The short-term economy, I think, would likely be false because people are feeling the heat. But you know what? We're not in a recession, so I'll give that one. So let's just say this. So far, we have 1 is false, 2 is false, 3 is false. We have 3, so there's 3 more. Policy change. This one's fascinating. The incumbent administration affects major changes in national policy. True. What? Kamala Harris is not offering any change. The Inflation Reduction Act already happened. The policies that they've proposed, they've enacted, what change would they possibly bring about as the same administration?
Well,
I think what he's playing here is he's treating this as though the vice president taking over is as if a 2-term president is termed out and an ambitious VP is taking over. It's the same administration.
Yeah, and also the one thing that where I would say that they are attempting to affect change isn't actually working, and it's certainly not working in any sort of public way, which is they're trying to pull back on this border after letting in, I think even the New York Times says 9 million people over the past couple of years, and Marjorie Taylor Greene says 20, right? So there's a big difference, but they're trying to affect some kind of change with the amnesty program. They put a pause on their parole program to allow in, 30,000 extra people per month from, what is it, like Venezuela, Nicaragua, Cuba, and Haiti. They're trying to do that, but it's not actually working because you still have, a lot of reports of crimes committed by illegal immigrants, like really violent ones, child rape and things like this.
Do we all agree that's false?
Yeah, I think it's false.
He said true. I believe if Kamala wins, it is stagnant. Same policies, the war advances, the border doesn't change, she's the border czar. He put true. That makes literally no sense. There's no major change in national policy should she win. False. That's 4 falses, 2 more, and Trump wins.
And talking about the immigration, it's like when you look at the Biden administration, they're essentially playing a shell game when every time you see, immigration, like illegal immigration or visas are going down, well, they're just routing it through a different legal process. So immigration's not going down. They're just playing a massive shell game, moving these numbers around.
All right. So 8, social unrest. There is no sustained social unrest during the term. I don't know that we have sustained social unrest, so I'll call that true. That's fine. This is my favorite.
I would argue we are close to sustained social unrest with the Palestine stuff.
Oh, actually, fair point.
You know what I mean?
They're back on campuses. Like
and they're
the first
protesting.
day back on campus.
And they're protesting
Columbia,
him.
They were going nuts.
And Kamala.
And her.
They
Okay,
were
so that's 5
protesting all
false.
summer.
That's a good point. They've been protesting nonstop.
And I want to say, what was it, like 100,000 Palestinian protesters in Chicago at the DNC?
Yeah.
Like it was like just watching the videos, it was shocking to see just the sea of them.
So absolutely, I was wrong on that one. Fair
We're
point.
weeks away from the year anniversary of that. So that seems sustained to me.
Yeah.
There is sustained. So that's 5. Number 9, scandal. The incumbent administration is untainted by major scandal. True. What? The president was ousted in the 11th hour as the whole media said they were secretly withholding information about his cognitive decline. That's the incumbent administration. That's not just Kamala Harris. That's 6. Trump wins.